Career Day is a great opportunity for a lot of members of our community to come in and represent their career fields and be able to talk to our 8th graders and explain to them what it is they do and what kind of career opportunities are out there for them. So our students all of them came together into the Gold Gym. We kind of walked through and saw different displays and booths that they could sort of interact with the career folks in their fields, ask them questions, get some brochures, some literature. They interacted with folks who are in the medical profession, military profession, law, service fields as well. Just a real variety of folks and a variety of experiences that students could partake of.
A great opportunity for these 8th graders to find a career path, a great career path that's going to lead them into hopefully down the road into retirement and doing a job out there serving their fellow man and helping make a difference in someone's life.
I think it's a wonderful idea, so you can bring real people in or from the field and give the kids a good broad overview of a lot of different careers that they can choose.
I think this is awesome. I actually had one of the other presenters here told me that she got into her profession because of her 8th grade career day. So I thought that was pretty cool.
This year was different in that instead of having the folks from different career fields speak in a room to an audience of 20 or 30 students, they just sort of did the displays. And so, for example, last year students would go from room to room, spend 10-20 minutes in a room speaking or listening and asking questions. They kind of had a little bit more freedom to kind of walk from one booth to another, interact with the different fields and see the displays. So it was definitely a lot different. Last year's took about 4 hours, whereas this year we were able to condense it into about 3 different periods in about 2.5 hours.
I like the format of having the kids be able to go around to different spots. I think sometimes I've been a part of ones where you give a talk and everybody has to hear it. Well, not everybody's going to be interested in the same thing, so it's nice that they can kind of have some choices on a variety of things that they can stop and ask.
This is the best one yet. This is my 4th or 5th year doing this, and I like being in the gym as opposed to having to talk for 4 sessions of 40 minutes apiece. It's a lot easier, and I think the kids get a much broader exposure to the different careers than picking 3 or 4.
Our social studies teachers asked the students to complete an interview of the different folks in different fields and to ask them a list of questions. That way the students could that kind of force some of our students to interact a little bit more. There are some students who naturally were gravitated towards asking questions and being very curious, but the questionnaire kind of forced the students to sort of say, you know, I got to talk to somebody, maybe I'll interview you or maybe I'll interview someone else. So they have a list of about 8 or 9 questions that kind of give them a variety of feedback and information about that field in particular.
They've been asking me a lot about salary, a lot about the requirements, how many hours do you work, how can you get started, what should they expect from an entry-level position, and what can they do now to get involved.
You know, I've been impressed with the questions today. They're really good. I wasn't sure what to expect. They've asked a lot of questions about education, you know, paths to become a nurse. So we've talked about 4-year degrees, 2 to 3-year degree programs, master's and doctorate level, you know, education.
Feedback that I've gotten from the kids has been very positive. Many of them said that it gave them an opportunity to think of different fields that they hadn't thought of before. For example, they interacted and had questions with folks from the military. They talked and learned about service professions where they focus on whether it's management or on serving people, or they interacted with medical folks, and so they just got an opportunity to consider themselves in the light of something they hadn't even thought of.
I think it's really cool. There are a bunch of career choices that you can find here, and if you're not sure, this can help clear some things up.
I've learned about a lot of different jobs that people have brought in to share about, and I've gotten a couple of ideas of what I could do.
The people are nice, give you good information about each job.
I liked it. I think it's a really cool experience for 8th graders because you kind of have to start thinking about it because we're registering for high school classes, and that's kind of what gets you started on what you want to do for college.
Believe it or not, I even had some students come to me and say, you know what, as a result of this, I kind of think I might want to become a guidance counselor someday. Believe it or not.